Tristan had asked a couple really good questions before we got started today, and I bet a couple of you are maybe wondering the same thing. Um, so this goes for all grade levels, fourth, fifth, and sixth. In your homeroom, you have your performance task project. Has everybody seen this?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No.
No? Okay, well, let me show you. It's this week's worth of work. Go back to the homeroom page. Lucas, yours looks a little different, but it's in your homeroom page and it's the same thing. Okay, so this
Okay.
um so Lucas, you don't have all of this to scroll through. Yours is basically right on top. Um okay, so when you click on it, here is your assignment for this week. Here is your basically your resource bank to help you. It's full of different pictures and articles and basically evidence that you'll use. And then when you click on this link right here that says Performance Task Project, here is basically your test. And here are where you type your answers. So your name, your grade level, and then these two boxes is where you type your answers. And then you hit the submit button. So everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Mrs.
Yep.
Bruns,
Yes.
I'm looking at my homeroom page,
Uh-huh.
and I don't see it.
Okay. Well, I will show you for sixth grade. Oh, I have so many classes. It's going to take a minute for me to get there, but I will.
Being a teacher must be hard.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep track of. Okay, so
But it's
Lucas,
pretty
this is the
nice.
sixth grade homeroom page, and here it is. It's right here. Do you see that? Underneath the
Oh, weekly assignments.
underneath the snowflake or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where you'll find yours. And then Tristan also had another good question about what is due on Monday and what is due next Thursday. So I sent you an email and it's called Sheets and Text You'll Need After Today's VC. So kind of a long title for an email, but whatever. And you will see right here this pantry search. That's what you're going to need to complete for Monday. And then after today, these four things will make more sense to you. Your group is going to be reading level W. So I'm scrolling over level W. And then you have these two sheets, which will start today. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all in your email. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. This group is wonderful, so I'm not going to go over our rules, but you know them. And our world class outcomes. Um, I'm just going to read the kid language because I think it's easier. So, our goals are to form an idea by exploring various sources that will help us make healthy decisions, form an idea about the decisions you make and how they affect your friends, family, classmates, and neighbors, and then also make strong arguments and break down other people's arguments while you're making good decisions. Okay? Are there any questions on your goals or your world class outcomes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, just keep them in mind that as you complete everything, you should be doing these things. Okay? All right. So we're going to move into a little bit of work with nonfiction text. This
Yes.
is another, yeah, it's another school-wide goal. So it's one of those things that all kids need to work on. So you're not alone. And here we go. All right, so I sent everybody a text called influenza, and I sent it yesterday. And like I said, if you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, you will after today. But what I want to do first is just remind you that good readers use what they already know about a topic to understand and remember new information that they learn when they read nonfiction books. Okay? So I want you to think about it. What do you already know about viruses?
Well, here's something I know.
Okay.
Well, that A virus is something that can come and infect you. It'll make you sick.
Oh, okay. Infects
It can
people.
harm you and make you sick, like you said. And then there's computer viruses that harm your computer.
Yeah. Okay. So a virus can be,
Technical viruses and real
yeah,
life viruses.
yeah, can be. I like that technical. Oops, can't type today. Or life viruses. I have to take off my little screensaver thing because I can't type with it on, or key savers. Ugh. Anybody have those things that cover your keys,
No.
No.
protect your keys? Oh, I think they are so hard to type with. They're like this rubbery thing that you put over your keyboard. Anyway, uh,
Actually, I think I saw those.
yeah, we were selling
When
them.
I was passing to third, I think.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, definitely. We sell them at orientation, and they are so annoying. But anyway, um, all right. Another thing is, here's something I know about a virus. The flu is a type of virus.
Mm.
I know something about a virus.
Okay.
A virus can be contagious,
Yes.
and contagious means that it can so it can spread to other people and make other people sick also.
That's right. Also,
And
oh,
a
go ahead.
way that it can get past is by coughing, shaking your hands, or sneezing, touching your eyes, or your nose or mouth.
Yes. Coughing. Gosh, come on, Jen's type today. Sneezing, and then touching your mouth, or really even your eyes. Really, anything that's kind of like open on your face can infect you.
My dad
Mm-hmm.
is sick today.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. See, there's a connection you're making. Antibiotics, here's what I know about viruses. Antibiotics do not help with viruses. So you cannot
What
get
are what
penicillin.
are antibiotics?
Antibiotics are a type of medicine that fight bacteria. So a
Uh,
bacterial disease is something like strep throat. So antibiotics will help with something like strep throat, but antibiotics cannot help with any kind of virus. A virus, unfortunately, just has to run its course. It's kind of a bummer.
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
actually, is a couple of things you can do, which will weaken it, or somewhat weaken it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are things like Tamiflu that weaken the symptoms. So they make the symptoms of feeling sick a little bit
Like, it
less.
somewhat weakens it.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we
But
can
it,
all relate to what it's like to feel sick or to have the flu. Is that correct?
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so we definitely already have a little bit of background knowledge, and we have a really important word that we have defined already. So good job. All right. So now, before you read any book, it doesn't matter if it's fiction or nonfiction, you need to preview the text. And I'm going to just walk you through how to correctly preview a text. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up.
Oh, Miss Bruns,
Yep.
can I give you a small summary on the book?
Um, well, how about afterward? Because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't read it yet.
Good point.
Yeah,
Because then they would know what it is already.
right. I mean, I think they could probably guess.
And to do it again, that would just kind of ruin the moment.
Yeah, it might kind of ruin the moment. All right, so we are looking at a text, and something you should always do before you just jump in and start reading it is you should look at the pictures, and then in nonfiction books, you need to look at the table of contents because those are important, and then any headings that you see. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip through this book for you.
Oh, by the way, Miss Bruns,
Uh huh.
I found out what influenza means.
Oh, perfect. By reading the book?
Uh huh. And also brain pop.
Oh, good.
Influenza is basically long term for flu.
Yeah,
Flu is like abbreviation for it.
that's right. Yeah, flu is the shortened version of the longer name for the virus influenza. Okay, so like I said, it's really important when you're reading nonfiction text to stop and look at the table of contents. Who could read the table of contents for me?
I can.
Go ahead,
I
Tristan.
will.
It actually doesn't matter who reads it. I saw Emma raise her hand, but I think you need to turn on your microphone.
Emma's microphone.
Introduction.
Yeah.
What is the flu? Changing viruses. The body fights back, preventing the virus from taking over. Treating the flu. History of the flu. Conclusion and glossary.
Okay. So the glossary is where you're going to find any of those bold print words or vocabulary words that you see as we go along the way. But here's a really important thing for you to remember if you're, taking a test of any kind, or, just answering questions. What if I asked you, where would you find information about the Spanish flu of 1918? What
I
chapter?
think I know.
Okay, go ahead.
It's on History of the Flu, Chapter 18.
Or on page 18, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, very
page
good.
18.
So by knowing the table of contents and using the table of contents, you're able to find the information a lot quicker than having to go back and read the whole thing. Um, Same kind of question. If I asked you, how does a person begin to recover? Where would you look?
The
Well,
body fights back.
That's right. You would look here in this chapter that starts on page 11. All right, so please don't underestimate the value of the table of contents. All right, so when you're flipping through a book to preview it, make sure you stop and you notice any titles, and this happens to be just the title of the chapter, and you look at any bold print words, not worms. These look like worms. And
and actually, from what it says there, it's the avian flu.
yeah,
Avian flu.
this is the avian flu, otherwise known as the bird flu. Because
Because
there's
that originally came from the birds.
That's right. Yeah,
And which is where mostly it comes from.
that's right. There are definitely different strains of the flu. So what you
Of
would do
course.
is stop and take a look at these words. So microorganism, a microbe or germ. They gave you the definition right here. It's really easy to see. They gave it to you in the same sentence. So we don't need to do too much work with that vocab word. Genetic material. If you don't know what any of these mean, when you come to the glossary, it would be a good idea to read the glossary or take a look at any words that you don't know before you jump into the text.
I think I have a good idea what genetic material means.
You probably do because you've read the book.
Mhm. Genetic material is it like, I guess, little germs or viruses?
Genetic material is actually the genes that make up either a human or a virus. In this case, if we're talking about viruses.
Oh,
That's okay. Don't worry. I mean, that's what we have a glossary for, is so that you can go and reference those tough words.
right.
All right. Anytime that you are flipping through a book, you need to stop and take a look at the pictures. Okay, so I'm just going to let you read that diagram silently. Okay. All right. So you can always get some good information, background information, just by looking at pictures before you even read the book. Same thing here. Flu viruses, this is important. This is an important detail, and you know it just by looking at the picture. Flu viruses attack the respiratory tract. And so they just showed you the respiratory tract, the parts of the body that make up the respiratory tract.
And I think I know, like, how it does it.
I'm sure.
Like,
Yeah,
they fill up with fluid, with this kind of fluid.
that's right. Yeah, they flu. That's what the flu makes the body do.
Because it actually has the FLU from fluid.
Yes, yeah. And here is another picture. Don't need to spend too much time on this one. This is
Just
obviously a picture of how the flu spreads.
a guy sneezing.
That's one way.
Or just shaking someone's hand. Or
Okay,
like I said at the beginning of the VC.
that's right. All right, so go ahead and read the caption and take a look at the pictures. Okay, so already you must have already learned, even without reading the book yet, that a lot of times the flu starts with um, farm
Birds.
chickens and birds.
Mostly ducks. Or
Yeah,
wild birds.
and here's a diagram of how it can pass along.
Passes from a wild duck to the chicken to the pig to the human.
That's right. The body fights back. Okay, so right away you should know that this is how the body is going to respond and try to beat the flu. Okay, so take a look at the pictures. So right away,
The pictures are funny.
yeah, they are kind of funny. You probably just learned that white blood cells are responsible for fighting the flu. The white,
And the antibodies also help.
yeah, it looks like the white blood cells are making the antibodies. They're kind of like falling from the white blood
Yeah.
cells. Okay, well, somebody washing their hands. I think even without reading the caption, you probably know that that's one way to prevent it. Nice nails, by the way. That's really pretty. Okay. All right. Scientists study ways to help the body fight the flu. So we're still working on trying to prevent viruses. I'm sorry, we already know how to prevent viruses, but how to beat a virus once you have it. Does anybody know how to prevent getting the flu?
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I could tell you why.
Okay, sure.
Well, there are these things, those needles called vaccines,
Yep.
and what the vaccines are, like all of you are maybe wondering what is in the vaccines.
Mhm.
Like a medicine, well, no, because what a vaccine is the tissue from weakened or dead virus cell tissues.
That's right. So basically, a vaccine is the flu and it's weakened or dead, and you put it into your body. That means when you come in contact with it, your body has already been exposed to it. So your body is used to it and doesn't get sick from it. So that's why we take the flu shot. And then, of course, just text high risk population. So here's another good um, just data of people who need to be especially careful. Okay.
Right?
And then just a little fun facts. Did you know? Obviously, just by looking at this page, you know that this whole thing is about how to treat the flu or how to at least feel better, even though we can't necessarily stop a virus. All right, like we were talking about earlier, history of the flu. So, even as early as 1941, people were getting flu shots. Kind of cool.
And in 1918 came the Spanish flu,
Yeah,
which is down there.
that's right. And that was that question I asked you at the beginning. If you wanted to know about the Spanish flu, which was a pandemic, it was a huge, I mean, look how many people died. Like
Because
more
what a
than,
pandemic is? Pandemic is when it spreads like all over the world, which is what happened with the swine flu too, just recently.
Yeah, that's right. In your lifetime, you probably remember the swine flu. It wasn't quite as bad as this Spanish flu because obviously we live in um, you know, a more technologically advanced time, and so we were able to fight it and stop it a lot better than they were back in 1918. But
And actually, Miss Bruns,
mhm.
I sort of caught swine flu when I was 4.
Yeah,
When
actually,
the outbreak went out,
I had the swine flu as well. Actually, it spread.
I've never had the swine flu before, or any flu.
and trust me, you don't want it,
No, you don't. That was
because
terrible. I
it
felt
is
like I was
bad.
gonna die. All right, and then here is basically a picture of how the Asian flu um, spread. So another,
Whoa.
yeah, another.
Spread it all from
Wow.
China to India, Japan, everywhere.
It did.
Even to Russia.
And then you can see what they had to do to protect themselves. They were wearing, and a lot of times it has, you might not have, but sometimes when there's a big outbreak of flu around the world, you'll go to like an airport and people will be wearing these masks in an airport. And it's because, airplanes are really germy places. And so they don't want to get sick from an airplane ride. But, and of course, the conclusion. And then, like I was talking about earlier, the glossary. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to read these vocabulary words and find any that you might not know. Just read through them. Okay. Another cool thing about a glossary is it tells you what page you're going to find that word on. So you can always find it easily. Okay. So you might have gotten through all of these, but let me just give you a hint if you haven't gotten through them. And maybe when you get to page 11, maybe you don't remember what antibodies means. Well, now you know where to flip to find out. Okay. All right. So let's go back to page 1, and we have a little thing that we're going to do together, and it's going to be kind of hard for me to write on, but I'm going to do my best. Okay. Now, oh, why does it keep logging me out? That's lame.
It does that to me with little Lincoln. After a while, it boots me out.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been logged in now for like 5 minutes. I think it would be logged in a little bit longer, but it didn't. So here we go.
Sometimes I click on something like reading homework
Right?
and it just logs me out.
Oh, and now
That happens with me too all the time.
Me too.
it's not letting me pull it up that way, but never fear. I have them saved on my desktop, so even better. If it's not going to let me pull it up from the website, we'll just pull it up this way. We'll pull them up, both of them up, just so we have them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a little knowledge survey. So we're going to do this before we read the book, and then you're going to do it after you finish reading the book on your own. Okay, so in the chat, you're going to type either a yes or a no. When you print this out for yourself, you can just type in whatever or write in whatever yes or no that you did for the before reading part. Okay, yes or no, a virus causes the flu.
So we'll send it to you in a private chat.
Yeah, why don't you do it in a private chat just to keep everybody thinking. Okay. And what's interesting about this is a lot of times after you read a book, your answers might change. All right, yes or no? Coughing sends germs into the air. Yes or no? Still waiting for your replies, Micah. I hope you're there. All right, third one, yes or no? Humans can get the flu, but other animals cannot.
That's tricky. Yeah.
That's interesting. And don't worry, I mean, if you get these wrong, I mean, after you read the book, you'll know. All right. Next, yes or no? Our immune systems have antibodies that attack and destroy viruses. Look at how much we've already learned just by previewing the text. You probably
Yeah, I know the answer to this one because
yeah,
by
just by looking at the
reading
book.
through it real quickly, we found the answer to that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're recognizing that previewing can really help you. Okay, keeping your fingers out of your mouth helps you stay healthy. Hmm, interesting. Getting a couple different replies on that one. All right, yes or no? Vaccines keep the flu virus from taking over your body. Or theoretically, I guess, Emma, because it doesn't seem to work for your family. Okay. All right.
I don't really know.
And that's okay. You could just guess. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I guess it guess.
Good. You'll know after you read it, though. You'll know for sure.
Right.
People who are very old are at the same risk of getting sick as everyone else. Good,
We
Tristan.
learned that also.
Yeah,
by
we learned
predicting.
that just by previewing, right?
Right.
Perfect. The Spanish flu
I should
killed.
try that out next time I read the story.
Yeah, you always should, whether especially nonfiction. It's really important for nonfiction. But even with fiction, you can learn a lot about what's going to happen without ruining the story. Just by looking at chapter titles, looking at pictures, reading the back of the book, you can answer a ton of questions about fiction or nonfiction. All
Actually,
right.
Miss Bruns,
Uh-huh.
but the bottom part, I think I know what the answer is.
Okay, we'll type it into the chat. The Spanish flu killed over 20 million people worldwide. Okay, you might have already learned that too just by previewing. So, this is something
Okay.
that after you're done, and it's really simple, after you're done reading the book, you'll just go back and see if any of your answers changed. Easy enough?
Yep.
I thought so. Okay, so now we have taken our knowledge survey. So now we're ready to go ahead and jump into the actual book and then look at our main idea chart because in each one of those sections, and in this case, it's really easy because it's broken up into different sections in the table of contents for us. We're going to identify the main idea and details of each. So there's actually a chart to help us do that as well. So here's our chart. Okay. And we're going to go back to our book. Just a second to pull up. And here we go. All right.
That was a bit faster.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know why it wasn't pulling up the other things, but it wasn't. All right, so let's take a look. Instructions. In the table below, we're going to write important details from each section of the book Influenza, that supports the main idea. Main idea: the flu is a virus that affects humans and other animals. Oh, wow. We could probably answer that one question back on our knowledge survey now. All right. So for for the introduction, there isn't any important details that we have to list. So we're just going to read the introduction together. And do I have a volunteer to read it out loud?
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
Okay. Have you ever shivered with the chills or burned up with the fever? Have you ever had a sore throat, a stuffy nose, a pounding headache, and muscle aches? Have you ever felt really tired and sleepy, even though you've just woken up in the morning? If you feel symptoms such as these, flu germs may have infected your body. By learning about the flu, what it is, what causes it, what its symptoms are, and how to treat it, you can fight back against the illness and stay healthy.
Very good. Okay. All right, so our very first section, what is the flu? So we are going to try to pull out just the main ideas, and that's what we would be writing in this box that you see over here. Okay, we're not going to rewrite the entire thing because that would defeat the point. Only the important stuff. So, how about Lucas? Do you want to read that first paragraph for us?
Okay. The flu is called influenza. Influenza is caused by a virus that has the ability to quickly spread between people. A virus is a tiny microorganism, a microbe, or a germ that is invisible to the naked eye.
Okay, stop
Very
right there
simple.
for a second, Lucas. Has anybody identified anything important yet? Maybe something that we would want to remember?
A microorganism, microbe,
Or
And
germ?
some.
germ.
Okay. So that is what the flu is. And then also, I think it's important to remember that it can spread quickly between people. Okay.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Very slim, very simply, a virus is a little bit of a genetic
Material.
marital what?
It's material.
Oh, material, surrounded by a hard protein shell that protects it. Viruses are sub micro
Scopic.
microscopic, so small the scientists must use powerful microbes to see them. Even
Microscopic.
when viewed through a microscope, a virus can only be seen after its image has been magnified to 1,000 times its original size. In fact, viruses are so small that hundreds of thousands of them can live on the head of a pin.
Okay. So, after reading this entire paragraph, I think the overall general idea is that viruses are very small. Okay, we don't need to maybe get into how submicroscopic they are, but we just need to realize that they're very small and that you need a microscope to view them. All right, next paragraph. How about Tristan? Are you there, Tristan?
Sure, I can read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, I am. I can read it.
Okay.
Viruses are everywhere. Some won't bother you at all, but some can be dangerous to people and other animals. During flu season, which lasts from October to May in the northern hemisphere, viruses are practically widespread. Like many other organisms, viruses need a particular type of home. Viruses survive by making their homes inside of animals.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys think was important to remember from this paragraph?
The flu season lasts from October to May in the northern hemisphere.
Okay, so flu season and maybe some dates. Okay.
And
Are
that
they
some
a
viruses that don't bother you.
Oh, okay. The some are dangerous. How about we do that one? Some are dangerous, like the flu.
right?
And
That lets people know that not all viruses are dangerous.
that's true. That's true. Okay, so let me do a little text box here. Hopefully this will work. Ah, it's going to let me type. It is. All right, perfect. Okay, so if I were going to type and put this in my little chart that you see over here, okay, because I can't type onto this sheet, so I'm going to type into this text box instead. I would, and remember, when you're doing important details, this is like one of the very few times you don't have to use complete sentences. Um, so just put the important stuff like viruses quickly, oops, there we go, spread between people. And then our next important detail is the flu. The fluer is a microbe or germ. And let me be more specific. It's a microbe or germ virus. Oops. And then viruses are small. Do you see how I'm going back and everything that I underlined? It just makes it really easy for me to find what I believed was important. Some viruses are dangerous.
Some are not.
Yeah, I could add that. Some are not. Um, flu season is October through May. And then viruses live in animals. And
I
we
have a question.
we count as animals. Yes, go ahead.
My question is it doesn't like show why October to May is flu season. Do you know why?
I do know why, actually, because a lot of times people spend more time indoors in October through May. Um, and the reason you spend more time indoors is because the weather is not as good in the northern hemisphere. That's our winter. And so when people are indoors and not out in the nice, fresh, open air, um, you have more germs that get trapped inside your house. So, one good way, if you can, when it's warm in the winter, to kind of let germs out and get fresh air in is just to open your windows. But that's not as easy to do in the winter, obviously. So
Yeah, like you like freeze to death if you open the window here.
a lot of times you would, exactly. And so that's why you have more germs living inside where you're hanging out. So, all right, guys. So for next time, here's what you're going to finish. So for 116, you're going to finish your knowledge survey. So remember, yes or no after you read the book. Oh, so I guess I should put that first. So you're going to read the rest of the book. Then you'll do your knowledge survey to change maybe some of your answers. And then you'll fill in your main idea chart. And then we'll start by sharing those next week. And if you want to learn a little bit more about main ideas, you can watch a couple videos that I've linked. So,
Miss
Are they
Bruns?
brain pop?
let's see, learn zillion. Nope. Yep, that one is.
Brain pop.
Ah. All
Miss
right.
Bruns?
Uh
Can
huh.
I give my summary on the book?
How about we do it next week, Adam? Because nobody's read it yet, so we might kind of ruin it for everybody if you give your summary right now. But here,
Oh,
look, Adam. This is going to be really cool. Let me show you what we're going to do next week. Maybe. Hold on. Next Thursday, when we review everything and review the book, we're actually going to write a summary together. So, you, my friend, who is ahead of the game, okay, it's taking a minute, but it'll come up, will be able to help us write our summary. Okay? Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to write it together.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, my 9:30 group, you are free to go. And just remember to check your email. That's where you're going to find everything that you need to have complete for Monday. And then again,
Bye.
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 Okay.
Buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
One more thing.
Bye.
Sure.
I
Bye,
wrote
Miss
this
Bruns.
Bye.
poem.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tristan. Go ahead.
I wrote this poem that I was going to email to you. So I just wrote for school, but I wanted to show it to you. So I'll just email it to you.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. I love poems. Hey.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, Tristan. All right. Okay, so we got a couple of my 10-15ers showing up. So we got Corbin and we got Tyler V. Hello. I'm going to go ahead and pull up your text because you had a hi. You had a slightly different book to read because of your level. So I'm going to pull up yours. Okay, so this is level Z. Here we go. Okay, perfect. We are ready as soon as we get everybody here. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good. Yay. It's Thursday. It's almost the weekend. Pretty excited about it. Anybody gonna watch the Broncos? You should. Oh, all right. So let's just hang out for a couple minutes. Let's see who we're waiting on. We have pull up our group. Okay, so we are Thursday at 10:15. Ryan always has to watch the recordings because he's somewhere else right now. Patrick, Sienna, Clara, Tyler B, Corbin, Jaden, and Tim. Okay, so we got 2 out of about 8. So we'll hang out for a minute. Oh dear. I'm tired today. I got up at 4:45 to work out, so I'm already feeling like I need a nap, and it's only 10:15.
I got up at 6 to go pick up my mom.
Oh, 6 sounds heavenly right now. Oh, I just got a message from Patrick saying that he has to watch the recording because he's at an appointment, so that's cool. So at least we know where he's at, and we'll let's see. Corbin is here, but he has his thing paused right now, so he's doing something. Where is everybody?
I don't know. I already read the virus thing though, so I know. Have you read it yet?
Yes, I have.
One thing, when it says the 40 million, is that how many died from it, or that's how many got the virus?
That's how many I believe died from it. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
it was huge. It was a pandemic spread all around the world. And of course, in 1918, we're talking about the Spanish flu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in 1918, they just didn't know what was going on like we do, today. So,
Mhm. Well, I'm glad.
okay, so this week in your classes, it is basically you are finishing up any semester 1 work that you have not finished yet. And because our official semester starts on Monday, the 13th of January, and if you want to, and you're all done with semester 1, you're able to jump ahead and get started with, next week's work or whatever. But I just wanted to show you, oops, sorry, I have my screen paused. your performance task that you need to complete this week. This is found in all of your home rooms. Okay. So we're looking at the sixth grade homeroom right now. Fourth and fifth grade, it looks very, very similar. So I got a couple questions about where do we like actually type our letter. Well, let me just kind of show you. Hi, Clara.
Hi.
So when you click on it, this will give you the information. This link right here is your resource bank or all of the evidence that you're going to need to reference. So things like articles and pictures, anything that might help you is in your resource library. And then when you click on performance task, you read through it, kind of long, but it's your test. And then you type your answers directly into these boxes. See how I'm highlighting them? You can type right into them just like that. And then you'll type your answers into these two boxes. And then when you're done, if you hit that submit button, that's how you turn it in. So are there any questions on how to submit your little performance task test? Okay, good. So that was one question that I had a lot of people ask about. And then another
Wait,
question.
just to be clear, what is the performance task again? Does it need to be done, or is it just if you miss something?
No, it needs to be done. It's kind of a test of sorts to end semester one. So it's
Okay.
kind of a completion of everything that you did with me in semester one. Are you able to actually apply that now? So, yeah, I don't think it'll be a surprise for you when you read it. And it won't take you that long either. It's not like an 8-page essay or anything. It's not long. So, yeah. So that's one thing that you'll be completing. Make sure that you have that done and don't get behind. And then I sent everybody an email, and it's titled, it's a very creative email title. It's called Sheets and Text You'll Need After Today's VC. Everybody has this email. On Monday, here's the link for what you need to have done for Monday's virtual classroom. Again, it's very short. It's that pantry search. Remember, finding two of your favorite foods and then two foods that you think are healthy, and then just filling in your information. If you go to the bottom right hand corner, that's where you'll get the print icon if you want to print it. Okay, if that's easier for you. Any questions on what you should have done for Monday?
For the calorie count, could I just make my one of my own on Word?
Yeah, if you don't like
Okay.
this chart, you can recreate it on Word, but I thought it would probably just be easier for you to, either
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I don't know why, but when my mom and me went to go see it, it kept on like flashing on, and every time we typed into it, and like a few minutes later, it would disappear and then appear back with nothing on it. So
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
probably go on to do it
you
on Word.
can't type directly onto this one. You would have to print it out. It won't let you type onto it, so you'll have to print it or create your own if you want.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so that's for Monday. And then after today, this will make a little bit more sense. But after today, you're going to be finishing this book, Level Z. Okay, see Level Z right here? And then these two sheets. And we're going to start these two sheets today. So it's not like you're going to have a ton of work to do. And they're actually, this one is really quick. It's like yes or no questions. So, all right. So, any questions on any of this stuff that I just showed you? Okay. Well, then we'll go ahead and jump right into today. Yay! Of course, just remember our rules, making sure that your chat is on topic as well as any kind of webcam usage that you're doing. Our world class outcomes. I'm just going to read our kid language because I think it's easier for us to understand. But your goals, always keep this in the back of your mind. You are working on forming an idea by exploring various sources to help us make healthy decisions. You're forming ideas about decisions you make and how they'll affect your friends, classmates, and everybody else. And then you're also making feasible and strong arguments and being able to break down other people's arguments. Um, so, in order to make good decisions. Any questions on your outcomes or basically your goals? No? Okay. Just always keep it in mind that that's why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to move into the fun stuff now. Nonfiction text. Just like everything else that we've been starting, analyzing labels and stuff, nonfiction text is also a school-wide goal that we need to, all grade levels, K through 12, need to improve on. So we're going to be working a little bit with nonfiction text in relation to health. Probably not surprising. First thing that we need to do is build some background knowledge and make connections because good readers use what they already know about a topic to understand and remember any new information from nonfiction books. So, what do you guys know? This is your background knowledge. What do you guys know about a virus?
That it could be deadly.
Okay. And go ahead and just shout them out, and I'll just type them.
They can break your computer.
Oh, yes. They can be, so I'm going to say they could be technical or lifelike. So they can infect a human or like a computer.
Yeah, that's happened in one of my computers, but we fixed it.
Ah, yeah, computer virus. That's right, Clara. What else do you
So,
I'm going to give you a little bit of,
that they can mutate.
okay. They can mutate. Good. So you might think that you're immune to it, but then it mutates and you're not immune anymore. They can
That reminds me of a video game.
They can spread quickly, actually. Something I know about a virus is that antibiotics do not
Or
help.
usually the virus itself.
That's right. Um, Antibiotics help with bacterial diseases. So
Yeah.
things like strep throat is a bacterial infection, and that will help. Viruses, unfortunately, do not have a cure. So once you get it, you kind of have to let it run its course. Anything else about a virus that you know already?
It. I'm not sure.
It's okay because you're going to be learning a ton. Let me give you the actual definition of a virus because knowing what it is going to really help you. It is a microorganism. Microorganisms. There we go. That enter the body, get into the cells, rapidly
Then
reproduce, and cause illness. Go ahead, Tyler.
oh no, sorry, that's just my lamp. The little pulley keeps hitting the side of the lamp and it just keeps knocking around.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to stop it. Yeah.
No problem. Um, in the last group, I taught them how to preview the text first, and then we did our knowledge survey. But you guys are a little bit older, so I'm going to go ahead and do the knowledge survey first with you. And then it's going to be really interesting to see how your answers change, even before you read the book, just by previewing. Okay, so
Yeah, Mrs. Bruns, I can't remember what virus it is, but did you know that supposedly there's one virus that could spread to 10 humans within a matter of 10 seconds?
I do not doubt it.
That I can't remember, but I think there's supposedly there's a virus like that. Can't remember what it is though.
Well, you actually might learn a little bit about it from reading this book. You never know. Or you could do some other research to make that connection. I love connections. I think really we could probably spend all day making connections about a time that we've all had the flu or known somebody that's had the flu. So,
The last time I had a flu, I had to go to the hospital. So
exactly. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Before we read the book, that's right now, we are going to type into the chat in a private message either a yes, I agree, you could just type yes, or no, I do not agree with the statement. Are you ready? Okay, statement number 1. A virus causes the flu. Yes or no? Okay. Okay, so type yes or no. A virus causes the flu. Okay, good. I have about 95% of people saying yes. Okay, okay, close. Close. Ah, it's making really big boxes. I don't want it to do that. Maybe I'll just not type because that's going to take me forever. All right, second statement. Coughing sends germs into the air. Yes or no? Okay, most people said coughing sends germs into the air. And it's okay. You don't have to be right now. You're going to figure it all out after you read the book. That's the whole point. But this gets you thinking about what you might learn. All right, third statement. Humans can get the flu, but other animals cannot. Yes or no? Okay. Jaden, go ahead with your question.
Isn't there a virus known as HIV that actually attacks living cells?
That's
That actually
correct.
attack your cells?
Yes, that is one of the many viruses in our world. Definitely. Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Next statement, type yes or no. Our immune systems have antibodies that attack and destroy viruses. What do you think? Yes or no? Okay, good. Next statement, keeping your fingers out of your mouth helps you stay healthy. Yeah, probably. Most of you said yes. All right, next statement, yes or no. Vaccines keep the flu virus from taking over your body. Ooh, I got about a 50-50 on that one. Okay. Next statement. People who are very old are at the same risk of getting sick as everyone else. Okay. And last statement to type either yes or no. The Spanish flu killed over 20 million people worldwide. Okay. All right. So we will, or you will at least, come back to this after you are done reading the entire book. But I'm going to show you the value of previewing a text before you just jump into reading it. You're going to be able to answer some of those questions just by doing this really in depth preview. Previewing a text is really important for nonfiction, but it can also help you with fiction. Think of how much you can learn just by looking at the pictures, reading the chapter titles, um, reading the back of the book, for instance. But it is crucial to preview a text when you are looking at nonfiction. Okay. So obviously, you got your picture. You could probably draw your own conclusions from that. here is something that is really important, the table of contents. The table of contents will tell you all of the different subtopics that you're going to learn about. So let me just ask you this question. If I wanted to know more about the Spanish flu of 1918, which one of these chapters would I flip to? Good, Clara. Go ahead and shout it out, somebody.
History of the flu.
History of the flu.
Perfect. You guys know right away that you would not have to waste your time reading all the rest of the book to answer that question. This is why the table of contents is so powerful. What if I wanted to know about how the body fights the flu?
The body.
That's right. I'm getting it in the chat. The body fights back. You would turn immediately to that chapter. So right away, we know that we're going to learn about what the flu is, how the flu changes or viruses change, how the body fights them, how to prevent the virus, how to treat the flu, and the history of the flu. Of course, we'll wrap up with a conclusion, and then anybody know what a glossary might be?
I need to go say goodbye to Grandpa. He's over. He's leaving. I just need to go say goodbye.
Okay.
The glossary.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The glossary is a thing that tells you words that the definition of words that you might not know.
That's exactly right. So, especially in nonfiction text, you're going to come across a lot of more technical, scientific type of words. So, you definitely should use the glossary. Okay, here we go. Let's preview. All right, so one important thing to do is to always read any captions. A water bottle and a blanket can help you when you have the flu. That can help you with the symptoms. That can help you feel better, but it's not going to help you cure it. I'm just telling you that now. All right, what do you see on this page that we should pay attention to as we're flipping through? Right away, your eyes should go directly to those bold print words. Right away, you should know that those are important words because they're in bold. Also, you need to your eyes should go directly to the picture and have an idea of what the picture is. So this is the avian flu virus or bird flu. This is what it looks like under a microscope. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you too. Always read any kind of subtitles. In this case, this is the chapter title. All right, I'm going to let you study this diagram on your own. Okay, just by looking at this diagram, what have you already learned? Anybody? How viruses spread. Very good, Sienna. You have already learned how it gets into your body and what it does. It makes a bunch of copies of itself and it starts invading other cells. Again, your eyes should be kind of floating towards those important vocabulary words. And I'll tell you this when we get to the glossary, so I'll just hold that thought. Okay, another picture that we need to look at. Flu viruses attack the respiratory tract. So we're looking at a picture of the respiratory tract. So right away, just kind of let yourself learn what the respiratory tract involves. Okay. All right, this is pretty easy. What would you learn by just looking at this picture? You should, and I hear some people typing. you should be able to tell that
When
this
you
is
cough, you up.
That's right. When you cough, you spread germs. Very good. And that germs can spread in many ways, and this is one of the biggest ways. Okay. All right. You're going to learn a lot from this picture. Wild birds above often pass viruses onto farm chickens, which come in contact with people. So, remember that knowledge survey? And when I had you answer yes or no, can other animals get the flu? You might change your answer now. Yes, they can. All right. This is a pretty simple picture. It's just kind of showing you a sample of the virus, how it kind of passes along between different animals, and then, of course, landing in humans. All right, I'm going to let you study how the body fights back. So take a look at this picture. All right, what does it look like attacks the flu virus? What is it that in our body attacks the flu virus?
White blood cells.
Yes, white blood cells release something called antibodies. Okay, all right, very
And they connect on a antigen only found on the invading germ. Like
good.
those spikes on this picture.
Very good. All right, so here is our good cell killing or trying to at least kill this virus. Do you notice how it's kind of like plopping onto it? That stops it from mutating, is basically what it's doing. It's stopping from recreating again. All right, scientists study ways to help you fight the flu. Does anybody know, is there a cure for the flu? No, there is not. There is no cure. There are just some things that will help you feel better, but it's actually not a cure. All right, this should be pretty self explanatory. How do we prevent? One way to prevent getting the flu is obviously washing your hands. And then just some fun facts. Did you know type of fun facts? And you could probably tell what's going on there. He's getting a flu shot. How to treat the flu. So you're not going to learn too much from this page other than you're going to see that you're going to treat the flu. Um, some ways that we can feel a little bit better. You can learn a lot from this page though. All the way back in 1941, they were starting to give vaccines, or trying to at least. They've definitely improved over the years. Oh, here we go. 1918,
I
Spanish
know how they
flu.
do it.
Good. Yeah, go ahead and tell us. How do
I
they
know how they do it.
do vaccines?